Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. In our first story, we've got an employee just trying to meet a crucial deadline, only to be blocked by a micromanaging boss who insists they stay at their desk and stop walking around. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Micromanaging manager orders me not to move. Now he's being moved out. This happened on Friday. I work in inbound sales for a pretty big company. We had a store for one of our bigger accounts come through. They wanted to get on ASAP, and time was of the essence for them. So I took the request, called them, and understood what they needed and how to help. It was very doable, but it needed to be done before COB and was about lunchtime by this point, so still heaps and heaps of time left. All I needed to do from here was walk no less than 20 meters to the account manager's desk and confirm a couple of things. Would have taken 2 minutes. My manager and I had a meeting, so I internally chatted with him and let him know I needed 5 minutes more to confirm a couple things. He comes walking over to my desk and just says, "Mate, stay there for now," then sends me an email 10 minutes later saying how I need to be at my desk more. The whole office works away from their desks. Need to stop walking around. I walk around to make calls, etc., etc. I try to explain the situation, how it was urgent. However, I had to send the account manager an email and wait patiently, and I'll be getting a serious talking to if I do go over and talk to him, keeping in mind that my account needed to be closed by COB that day. So I sent the email to the account manager and waited for a reply. 10 minutes later, I see the account manager start packing up his desk, looking like he was heading home for the weekend. I wanted to get up and quickly confirm what I needed to with him, but my manager had specifically asked me to stay seated and not move, so that's what I did. 5 p.m. Friday rolls around and still no reply. Surprise, surprise. So I send the customer an email apologizing and let him know we'll be in contact Monday. Monday rolls around and I find out that the account manager is out until Wednesday. No big deal, so I send my manager an email asking to confirm a couple details. His reply was, "Please wait for the account manager to return on Wednesday," even though he would have no issues confirming the info I needed. So I once again sat there and did my other work. Wednesday rolls around and account manager comes up to me, looks absolutely gutted. Apparently he just got off an hour call with the head office of the company we're dealing with, 100 plus accounts with us, and was disgusted with how long it took for us to get back to them, and how because they had to wait, they lost money, customers, etc. From here on out, they won't be partnering with us anymore. He asked why, and I simply showed him the 2 emails from my manager stating that I wasn't allowed to come speak to him and to wait till Wednesday to confirm everything I needed to. Rumor now has it we'll be getting a new manager soon. Love the story, but seriously, wouldn't you have been better off in your company's eyes ignoring what manager said and going to do it anyway? I realized it wouldn't belong on this sub anymore, but... And our second story. You guys have one job and can't even do that right. I work at a sandwich shop. I've had to deal with my fair share of rude and disrespectful customers, but this has stood out to me for some reason, and I need to get it off my chest. So it's about 7 p.m. and we get unexpectedly busy. Usually at this time we're cleaning and completing our checklist, but we definitely got bamboozled. Whatever, it happens. We managed to get through it. However, this one guy that I recognized as a customer that I had rung out about 15 minutes before is now back in the store and is staring at me menacingly. So I finished ringing up one of the last customers before heading over to him. Keep in mind, this is an older man, I'm a young woman, and I'm working with teenage boys. Me. "Hello, how can I help you?" Him. "I am very upset." Curtly, huge attitude right off the bat. Me. "I'm sorry to hear that. What's the problem?" Him. "You guys have one job," clench his fist in my face, "and you can't even do that right." Now I'm already over this encounter. First off, who the F is you guys? I wasn't the one who took his order, nor did I personally make his food, and he knows this. So why is he coming at me like this? Secondly, that's an incredibly demeaning thing to say. And third, he's already getting aggressive. Me, now extremely dry-toned, what's the problem? He proceeds to ramble on about how he cut a corner of his sub and there wasn't enough meat, veggies in it. And that was unacceptable. Honestly, he rambled on so long about the same thing I can't even remember all of it. Point is, that could be a fault of how the grill person put the meat in the bread, or it could be the fault of him for cutting his sub disproportionately. Who knows? Me. Okay, so sorry about that. Would you like us to? Him cutting me off to complain more. You guys have no effing clue. No effing clue. Also, I specifically asked for mayo on my other sub, and it's not there. Me. Our apologies. I can write down your order for a whole new order on us. He's still staring me down, but is telling me his order. While I'm clarifying his toppings and bread type, he cuts me off and tosses the offending sub that he brought back, and I guess pulled from behind the counter at my face. Him, aggressively. I have the old one right here. You guys can just put it on this one. Me. Is that what you would rather have us do than make a new one for you? He then raises his voice at me again, clenching his fist, and basically tells me that we're all a disgrace and to just throw the toppings on the old one. I don't say a word at him. Now I'm completely mentally checked out, and I just silently grab the sandwich that he previously tossed at my face and put it on the back counter, telling my coworkers what to put on it. The whole time, this man is still making remarks at me while he's belittling my teenage coworkers. I turn around and tell him, I'm sorry about the mess up. These kids are doing their best back here. There was a lot going on. Him widening his eyes and now borderline yelling at me, well, your best is not good enough. Me. Okay. Him. You have an attitude. Me. That's fine. Him. Excuse me? Me. I'm speaking to you in my normal speaking voice. You thinking I have an attitude is a matter of opinion. We fixed your food. Enjoy your meal. I handed him the new sub. He snatched it out of my hand, looking beside himself, and stormed out. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out how much verbal abuse am I and my coworkers supposed to take until enough is enough. I'm tired. I think some aggressive people are just trying to enact some authority of their perfect world fantasy where everyone they don't like screws up and everyone they do like can make no mistakes. They also want a reaction to feel like they matter instead of the truth that they're slowly fading into obscurity and nobody cares about them. And our last story. He destroyed our trees and called the cops. Turns out he gave us his own property instead. My family has proudly owned a little cottage nestled along one of the beautiful Finger Lakes in western New York for nearly 2 decades. It was always our peaceful retreat and escape from the hustle and bustle of daily life. 18 years of memories, relaxation, and summers spent by the shimmering water made this place truly special. About 6 years ago, our tranquil world got an unexpected upgrade. A small convenience store opened at the top of the hill above our cottage. Initially, we saw this as a fantastic perk. Forgotten supplies were just a short walk away, and the sandwiches from the store were genuinely delicious. The store owner, Jake, started as the friendliest guy you'd ever meet. He greeted every customer warmly, remembered our names, and always threw in an extra snack or two for the kids. It was ideal. But as time passed and Jake's business flourished, success seemed to change him. Encouraged by his store's popularity, he expanded the store by adding a bar and began hosting live music sessions on a deck behind his building. What started as a pleasant background tune quickly turned into late-night loud rock concerts echoing down the hill, shattering the peace of our lakeside community. The first to voice concern were our neighbors, an elderly Jewish couple named Marvin and Esther, who'd been living there quietly for decades. One afternoon, they went up the hill to speak politely with Jake about the noise. "Jake, please," Esther said gently, her voice tremulous with age but firm. "We love that your store is successful, but the music, it's becoming too much for us. We can't sleep at night." Jake's response shocked everyone. His face twisted into a sneer. "If you don't like it, maybe you two should move somewhere else," he snapped. He called them Jewish slurs and kicked them out of the store. When my father heard how Jake treated our gentle neighbors, he couldn't stay quiet. He confronted Jake the next day, walking into the store calmly but resolutely. "Jake, that was completely uncalled for. You know Marvin and Esther. They're good people. You owe them an apology," Dad said firmly. Jake leaned across the counter, eyes narrowed. "Mind your own business, or you'll end up just like them," he hissed. "I run my store how I see fit." After that confrontation, Jake made sure our family felt unwelcome. He ignored us whenever we walked in, muttered insults under his breath, and encouraged rowdy patrons from his bar to loiter near our cottage late into the night. But Jake had underestimated my father's determination. Dad spent sleepless nights researching zoning laws, and after a week he found exactly what he needed. Jake's bar violated several local regulations and building codes. A formal complaint was filed, inspectors showed up, and within days, Jake's beloved bar was officially shut down. The neighborhood sighed with relief, grateful to have their quiet evenings returned. Jake, however, was not one to admit defeat graciously. Fueled by bitterness, he searched through property records and discovered something nobody else had known. A mere 5-foot strip of lawn in front of our cottage actually belonged to him. Never mind that we had maintained it for 18 years, planting flowers and trimming the grass, Jake immediately took action. By morning, we awoke to the sound of chainsaws. By the time we rushed outside, Jake had cut down several of our beloved trees, leaving ugly 6-foot stumps standing defiantly in our yard. When Dad confronted him, Jake sneered, "It's my property. I'll do whatever I want with it." He began leaving garbage cans and broken lawn furniture scattered across the strip, blocking any attempt we made to park or enjoy the space. Things escalated when Dad, fed up with the nonsense, pulled out one of Jake's stakes marking the boundary. Jake called the police immediately. The officers arrived, clearly annoyed at being dragged into a petty feud. Dad calmly explained, according to state law, if a property's been openly maintained by someone other than the owner for over 10 years, ownership transfers. The police, after checking the facts, reluctantly informed Jake that Dad was right. Jake fumed as they drove away, his petty revenge crumbling around him. Days later, Dad received confirmation from our attorney the 5-foot strip was officially recognized as our property. My father smiled triumphantly and immediately cleared the stumps and garbage, restoring our yard to its former beauty. Jake never bothered us again. We still wave politely when we see him at a distance, a subtle reminder that kindness always wins, but disrespect and greed inevitably lose. Jake got exactly what he deserved, and then some. It's amazing how quickly he went from being a neighborhood hero to an absolute villain. Not only was his behavior toward your elderly neighbors disgraceful, but his petty revenge backfired in the most satisfying way possible. Kudos to your dad for standing up to him, knowing the laws, and ensuring justice prevailed. There's nothing better than seeing someone's spiteful actions blow up spectacularly in their own face. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.